Hi everybody, welcome back to another CYT-Crypto episode. My name is Stephen Aitchison, and I just forgot to turn the sound off on that. My name is Stephen Aitchison still, and today we'll be going over the markets. Looking at the markets, kind of boring day today. There's nothing really much happening. Kind of all sideways, also kind of sideways as well, apart from a couple that are going up. So we'll be looking at that, and we'll be asking the question, what's going to happen with crypto? I was going to say something else there, but what's going to happen with crypto, and what should we be thinking about crypto for the future as well? Is it all just a waiting game? Is it going to go down? Is it going to go up? We have to think about this kind of differently as well, I think. And we're looking at the short term when we should be looking at the much longer term. Okay, first of all, if you can go down to the like button, hit that like button, that would be fantastic. Also, if you're watching just now, let me know in the comments where you're watching from, what country in the world you're watching from. That would be fantastic, just to see where you are in the world and just to get you commenting as well, just so I get to know you better as well, because I know a lot of people watch it and they don't really kind of comment or anything. So it'd be good just to get you involved in this as well. So go down to the like button and crush those likes as well. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe as well to the channel. There's a kind of a bell down below that you can subscribe to and get notifications as well. Okay, so I was thinking about this and kind of what to talk about, because it was a kind of boring day today with crypto as well, and I was thinking about the kind of quality of the kind of cryptos that we're kind of investing in just now as well. It got me to kind of think a whole, I went down a kind of rabbit hole and stuff like that as well when I was asking myself these questions, what should I be talking about today? And I thought about the kind of question, is this just a waiting game for crypto overall? And it really is, and there's only kind of a couple of questions we should be asking ourselves. And then I started thinking about kind of that in general, the questions we ask ourselves. And it kind of led me to believe that our whole life is determined by the actions we take. It really is, it's determined by the actions you take. So you get into crypto, it's determined by the actions you took to get into crypto. But what led you to take the actions you did? Well, it was really to do with the kind of questions you asked yourself and the decisions you made to get into crypto. So your life is determined by the decisions you've made in crypto and in life as well. But what helps you make the decisions? Well, it's the kind of questions you ask yourself that help you to make a decision, that help you to take the action. So the questions you ask yourself are really kind of what determine your life. So if we think about it that way and we agree upon that as well, then your life is determined by the questions you ask yourself. So if you change the quality of questions you ask yourself, you change your life. This is true of crypto, and we have to ask quality questions in crypto as well as our life as well. So it's not just about crypto, but this is a crypto channel, so it's going to be pertaining to that. But in life, kind of in general as well, if you're in a relationship as well, obviously the questions you ask yourself about that relationship, should it be in this relationship? It's an obvious question, should it be in this relationship? The answer is yes, no, or stay. So it's a yes, I'm going to stay in it. It's a no, I'm going to get out of it, or I'm just going to stay where I am just now. There's only three possible answers that's going to happen at this particular moment in time. But a better quality question, am I going to be happy staying in this relationship? And you start to think about it in terms of kind of crypto as well, in terms of ROI. What's your return on investment? Your return on investment is different in a relationship. It's going to be kind of either happiness, it's going to be kind of financial stability, it's going to be kind of look at all your basic needs and looking at the kind of basic hierarchy of needs, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But in crypto, it's the same as well. So if you're invested in a particular cryptocurrency, i.e. a kind of altcoin, you should be asking yourself, is this going to survive the altcoin purge? That would be the obvious question to ask yourself just now. And we've only recently discovered kind of the altcoin purge, and really that some of the altcoins are going to disappear. So we've been talking about that for maybe a year or something, 6 months, a year, but recently we've been talking about the altcoin purge. And we should be asking ourselves, okay, is this cryptocurrency, is this altcoin going to survive or not? And you have to kind of dig deeper and ask yourself more questions. Well, have they got a product? Are they hitting the kind of roadmap guidelines? Have they got a good team? Are they good on social media? Are they creating partnerships? What are they doing? Where is the kind of competition as well? Once we start asking these questions, then we can make a decision whether or not to stay in that particular cryptocurrency. Now, going on that logic, and this is very stoical as well, it's very a kind of Stoics way of looking at things as well, just a kind of logical kind of way of asking yourself. But we now have to start asking ourselves the question of the cryptocurrencies we're involved in. And I've been doing that with the ones I've got. So for example, I've got just now Metamorph. Metamorph, is that a good project? To me, it is a good project. It was a good project. There's a lot of competition around about it as well. And it's a good team. Seems to have a good team. They're kind of doing the hitting the roadmaps, all the kind of everything they've said they were going to do. They've hit as well. They've done that. Has the price gone up? No, it's not gone up. It's gone down. In fact, what do you do in that situation? If you've got a good or what you perceive to be a good project, then there's only one or three things you can do. You can either stay in it, you can sell it, or you can buy more. So that's the kind of three things you could do. If you believe in it wholeheartedly, it's just say, okay, this is really kind of fundamentally, it's really good, but the price is so low, I'm going to have to buy more here because it's such a good opportunity to buy more and make more money in the future. So that's what I've decided with the likes of Metamorph, for example. Just keep it just now, see what happens. Price is not going anywhere. They've not got the users on board just now as well. So it could go down the tubes. So I understand that. I've made that decision. But with cryptos in general, we have to ask ourselves the question, are they going to be here next year? Are cryptos going to be here in 5 years' time? Are cryptos going to be here in 10 years' time? Overwhelmingly, the kind of information that we're getting from kind of crypto news, from kind of political sphere, the kind of financial sphere, kind of every area of life, overwhelmingly, blockchain is definitely here to stay. Blockchain is definitely here to stay. If you've got blockchain, you're going to have projects that's on the blockchain. They're going to help other companies from the traditional kind of markets and the traditional financial markets, traditional kind of business markets as well. They're going to help them come into the cryptocurrency space and the blockchain space as well. So there are going to be a lot of projects that are going to survive because of that. We've seen one today with TE Food, for example, a Swiss company has kind of partnered with TE Food, which is a small company, a small project on the blockchain that's only worth 1.5 million market capitalization. It should be worth more because of making partnerships like this. But that's only kind of one example. So there's going to be a hybrid and there's going to be merging of the traditional and the blockchain as well. So we have to ask ourselves the question with regards to Bitcoin then, is Bitcoin going to be here next year? Yes, more than likely it is, yeah. We've no evidence to say for definite it is going to be, but more than likely, yes. Is it going to be here in 5 years' time? More than likely, yes. Without a doubt, it's going to be here in kind of 5 years' time. Well, this is what we think. If we truly believe that, then the best thing to do would be to invest in Bitcoin just now. It doesn't matter that it's $9,500 or $10,000 or when it goes up to $12,000. If we ask the question, is it going to be here in 5 years' time, and we say the answer is yes, and we're almost sure it's going to be yes, we can't be sure for 100% because we don't know what's going to happen with regulations, what's going to happen with the politicians and stuff like that. But it's been here 10 years. It's getting infiltrated into kind of day-to-day living. Just now in traditional kind of finance, traditional business as well, is getting more and more kind of infiltrated. Their kind of network is being built there just now. So it seems logical that it is going to be here in 5 years' time. Now, if we think that, then the best decision we can make is to start buying Bitcoin. But not only Bitcoin, is to look at the other altcoins as well. And if we've asked ourselves the questions, the good questions, so our life is determined by the quality of the questions we ask ourselves. The same with cryptos as well. Our crypto investments are determined by the questions we ask ourselves. So if we determine the likes of XRP, is that going to be around? Still a gamble, of course, it's a risk. But if we look at everything that they're doing, all the networks they're building, the foundations they're building as well, well, for me, I have to conclude that it is going to be here and it's going to be a big player in the next 5 years, within the next 5-10 years. Same with Ethereum as well. I don't think Ethereum is going to go away. So these are the questions we have to ask ourselves in crypto space. So rather than being disappointed with the price just now, think about the future price of Bitcoin. we know it's going to be $50,000 or $100,000 at some point. Why would we quibble about kind of $500 drop or $1,000 drop, or if it goes down to $7,500? So why would we even kind of worry about that? So if we think about it from that point of view and think about the future value instead of the current value just now, then things seem much better. They seem a lot better in our minds, and we feel a lot lighter when we think about it that way as well. But the only thing is, we don't know for certain there's going to be that price in the future. But again, we don't know for certain there's going to go down to $6,000 or $3,000 or just going to disappear altogether. So you have to take a stance and get off that fence and just say, okay, this is what I believe. I think Bitcoin is going to be there in the future, or I think XRP is going to be there in the future, or I think Ethereum is going to be there, or kind of Link or Chainlink is going to be there, or whatever cryptocurrency you're in. But ask yourself the quality questions and really look at the ones you're invested in just now, and look at the projects and the team and the product they've got out as well. And that way you'll be able to determine whether or not to stay in a particular project, or just walk away and just put everything into kind of Bitcoin and just walk away, which you can do. As well. I've been speaking to a couple of people this morning about the kind of pensions for Bitcoin as well in the UK, with Lansdowne Hargreaves. I've been helping people with that as well. So a lot of people are just kind of parking their money for the next 5-10 years and doing that as well, which is a good thing. Okay, I haven't even seen if we're live or not. I could be talking utter bullshit to nobody, because nobody might be watching, because I might not be live. So I'm just going to check just to make sure we are live. We are. We've got a few people in, so I'm going to say hello to everybody. I kind of went on that spiel. I wasn't meant to. I was meant to kind of say hello to you first and then kind of talk about that, but I didn't. Okay, Stephen King is in the house. Good morning to you. Kim O'Brien is in, one of our Brown admins. Good to see you here, Kim. Gordy Boy is in the house. Kim was saying there's a typo. I fixed that, Kim, so thanks very much for that. Marcus Jafari is in. Mike is in the house. Good morning to you. Tony P is in, on holiday in Spain, so missed a couple of days. Hope everyone is well. Good to see you, Tony. Be Free is in the house. Ronald Dess is in. The Hawthorns are in the house. Mitch Dieter on his crypto journey. Stuart, I've seen your video on XRP. Nice one, mate. And I've seen your message this morning. Just replied to you. I don't know if you've seen that. Zed Humble Pie is in. High Points Drifter is in the house. Axel's back with us. G Slick Mark Innes, Adeb Vin, one of our brilliant admins, is in the house as well. Good to see you, mate. Nice speaking to you this morning as well. Mervyn Skidmore, Mike D, another one of our brown admins, is in. CryptoCat, James is in, B is in, Vin, Andreas, Ross Davidson, Debbie C, Chris Camus, Niles Bull, Natasha Sakamoto is in. Right, I'll get to some of the comments. G Slick is from the Gold Coast, Australia. Nice to see you, mate. All the way from the Gold Coast. Mike is saying, loving these lows at the minute in crypto as I've bagged a load of Link. Have these amazing prices ready for the next 2 years. I think you're right with Link. I think only 500 million market capitalization, or roughly around about then. I think, I think you're right with that, Mike. Mervyn Skidmore, quality question, when? Yeah, that's a quality question. CryptoCat, hey peeps, when Lambo. Good morning, great score for the Celtic last night. I don't know if we should be talking about this because I don't know, because there's a lot of Scottish people in, so I don't know if it's Celtic Rangers kind of side. Morning all, Andreas, took 9 years for BTC to hit 20,000. Indeed it did. Oh, it's only a few years old, so long wait. Yeah, it is for the alts. So after the altcoin purge, I think we're going to have to see what ones survive the altcoin purge, and there's going to be a lot that's not going to survive it, and we kind of know intuitively what ones are not going to survive. I kind of know that most of mine, most of the ones that I bought are probably not going to survive the altcoin purge. To be honest, I'm really starting from scratch. Again, that's what I'm doing just now. I'm in Wink at the moment. I've told you all that as well. So I'm kind of starting from scratch. Really. I'm going into kind of Bitcoin for the pension, so I'm not too worried. Bitcoin will be worthless in 5 years' time. Too slow, Napster. I don't think so, B. I don't think so. But everybody's entitled to their own opinion, of course. So I wonder what ones you're going for, B. It'd be good to know what ones you're going for if you want to kind of disclose that. Debbie C is in the house. Travala given a 5% discount if you spend DGB. Excellent. Excellent. Cheese plus mouse all as well. Z Humble Pie, what's the price level to have a candle close to keep bullish momentum? Okay, so we'll take a look at the charts and we'll take a look at the overall crypto as well. Overall crypto, where are we just now? I'll just refresh that and make sure it's up to date. We have an overall market capitalization of 246 billion. Bitcoin dominance going up slightly again to 69.1%. As I said, not much happening, although there is a couple that have risen. So we have ABBC coin is up 37%, Egretia is up 36% again. Dragon Coins has jumped into top 100 with a 20% gain. Lambda is up 10%, only 4 coins up in double-digit greens. Egretia has done brilliant this year. Egretia is one of the ones, we'll just have a look at that just now. EGT, I wonder what have EGT. That's on Huobi. There's a dollar value obviously that's done better. 162 jumped up 90%. From here it jumped up 70 or 80%. But it's not long been out. Egretia was done well in terms of kind of dollar value. EGT, we've got USD. Yeah, it's had 3 spikes actually, 3 or 4 spikes. I just want to take a look at here. Yeah, so it's since April. This is since it went on Huobi. We've seen that kind of chart there. That's only since August, but since April, you're talking a big spike of 22 Satoshi all the way up to 795 Satoshi, a 30xer. 30xer, which is amazing to see. Who's the losers? We have Aurora Coin is down 11%, MaidSafe Coin down 10%, only 2 in double-digit reds. With BTC value, how does that change things? Probably got about 60% in the green, 40% in the red, yeah, around about that. Okay, we'll look at all the kind of cryptocurrencies on CoinMarketCap. Just now we have 2,529, so it's jumped about 30. So it must have listed, they couldn't have listed 30 yesterday, because it was down at 2,400 or something. We go to tools, just want to see the ones that were listed, the new ones. Tools, is it resources, what one is it? Recently added. That's weird, it doesn't kind of correlate with what was happening. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was 2,400 nodes yesterday. So these are the ones that have just kind of been added. So it's good to look at this as well if we're looking for hidden gems. It's good to look, or if we're looking for trading opportunities as well. Some of these can do really well when they're first listed, on the first couple of days of being listed. So we'll look at overall, we'll look at, see who's up over the last 24 hours. AlphaCon is up 95% over the last 24 hours on 102,000 volume. Opinity is up 87% on 869. Actinium, 74% on 18,000 volume. Octoin Coin is only a market cap of 18,000 and it's up 72% on 22,000 volume. So that could literally 1,000x and it still wouldn't make the top 100. These are the kind of ones we're looking out for. Few and far between. Dynamic up 67%. One Ledger on 1.5 million volume is up 52%. It's up 112% on the week though. So just have a look at the weekly. See who's doing well. Credit has done well on the weekly. Crycash 397%. Noah Coin up 187% as well. So this is where we look for the hidden gems here. And in particular, we're going to pay attention to the market cap and look for the hidden gems that way. Okay, crypto bubbles. EGT obviously being the standout one, up 44%. on the day, up 745% on the year. Lambda, up 11% on the day. So this is over the last day. And Engine Coin, up 6% on the day. And we'll go to the last hour just to have a look at that. Beam is coming up 3%. Bitmax token is up 3% over the last hour. CRO token as well. EGT up 5%. Theta down 3%. TRX has gone up. ONT has gone up. So overall, kind of greenish over the last hour. What was it over the last 24 hours? Greenish as well. Kind of 50-50 there, I would say. Maybe 60-40. And the fear index today is 24. So a lot of people are still fearful what's going to be happening in crypto markets, particularly the larger kind of cryptocurrencies. So Bitcoin and the larger cryptocurrencies, i.e. Ethereum, XRP, etc. Go back to chat. Be free investing BTC or XRP. Well, it looks as if XRP is still going to go down further, but same with BTC as well. So I would still invest in either or, BTC or XRP, but I'm not your financial advisor. Put your big boy pants on, big girl pants on, all that. DATX, thoughts? Haven't heard of DATX. Or have I? No, I haven't. 1.3 million market capitalization. It did have a market cap of 66 million, so down 66 times. Markets, Huobi Global. Good volume on it. 396. Social, where are we? July the 7th was the last update. That's not good enough. Beta version. Syndax will release an official version of its wallet, providing users with on-stock docs asset management channel at that time. Pushing the platform 2.0 upgrade. So they're not really active on social, and they should be much more social. If it's a cryptocurrency company, they should be social, and that includes Twitter, Facebook, Medium, etc. But they're not doing a lot on social side of it, so that's not good enough. To be honest, that'd be a red flag for me. But you'd have to look into it more. I'm not saying that's the only thing that would kind of red flag it. You'd have to look into it more. One, just that comes up just now. SpainCoin looks a good one. I like the look of SpainCoin. I seen this the other day again, and I like the look of this as well. I was doing a wee bit of research the other day. They brought out the card, obviously, for this. So I quite like the look of this, and it could be another MCO-like company, but if you look at the market capitalization, 1.6 million, compared with MCO, we've got what, 50 million. So I would look at SpainCoin. If you've not looked at that yet, have a wee look at SpainCoin. That could be a good one. I'm just going to put this in my first round ones. I had a look at all these first round ones I've done over the last few months, but I've not really done anything with it. We're going to do some hidden gems reports, but the market's just kind of really depressed just now. I had a look at some of the old ones I've done months and months ago. Phantom was the first one I kind of bookmarked. It was the first one I bookmarked way back months and months ago. And look where it's up to 31 million. So I kind of bookmarked it around about, I think it was about 4.5 million when I first bookmarked it. Didn't get into it. Own was another one kind of looked at for hidden gem way back when. Blockmess, Cosmochain, very safe. There's loads of them that kind of bookmarked. So it's been good to put $1,000 in each of them. At that stage, that'd have been quite cool actually, just to see where they'd gone. Goddy so financial giant in Japan distributing XRP to investors. Now this is pretty big news. Did XRP moon? No, because no one takes it seriously. They don't. I think it's just still hanging over their heads with this kind of court case. It's hanging over their heads. Is it security? Is it not security? Once that's out the way, I think things will be paved. The kind of path will be paved once that's out the way. I hope BTC stays where it is until pension transferred. I'm hoping exactly the same thing, Mike, because my other one, I've got one small pension I've transferred over to Lansdowne Hargreaves, and the other one is I'm having a bit bother with. transferring over. They're just looking for more information, and it's not transferred over yet. And I'm thinking, shit, I hope the Bitcoin price stays the same or goes lower until all that goes through. David Schwartz is in. Good morning to you. Natasha Sakamoto, EGT BTC was the ideal constellation. EGT up 40%, BTC down 10%. Tons of cheap Satoshis. Yes, indeed. David Schwartz, master likes everyone. Thanks for that. No footy chat, please, but great result for Jers. Yes, no footy chat in this channel. Right, what was I going to kind of look at as well? We'll have a look at the Bitcoin price. See what's happening. That was Agricia, so look at Bitcoin. So we're still down. We're still down. It's going sideways at the minute on the 4-hour chart. We're just kind of going sideways. Nothing much happening with Bitcoin. 9,466 at the moment. Just now, we still get this support of 9,000, 8,800, then 7,500. As I said, for me, it's better if it goes down, but that's just a personal thing. I know a lot of people don't want that, but for me, it's good if it stays at this price or goes down. So I'm hoping it doesn't jump too high within the next couple of weeks. So we'll see what happens with it. There's nothing much to talk about. It's just kind of hitting these support areas. It's just going sideways just now. There's no real movement at all. If you're on a short term looking at it, daily, 50-minute chart, kind of crossed over. So you'd be in and out. So probably better sitting in your hands until there's confirmations there just now. But it looks as if it's going to cross down over. The 70 EMA is going to cross down over the 50 EMA. So it could be a sell, but you're in and out of it just now for the last few days, to be honest. So it'd be a difficult one to trade in Bitcoin as well, but it would be probably to the downside if you were going to trade it. And we'll just look at some of the Binance coins that are up there. Wind token, it's not really up 33%, it's just trading between 3 and 4 Satoshi just now. But it's looking healthier, the order books are looking healthier. 5.3 billion to buy at 3 Satoshi, 4.9 billion to sell at 4 Satoshi. So that was a lot worse than that. So I'm just staking Win just now, as I said, nearly up to 32 million from 30 million, which is good. QSP up 31%, that's a good move for QSP as well. Crossed over with a big spike, though that was the only thing, so it moved up too quickly to catch that. It moved up about 45-50%. And it did so the other day as well. That kind of shows about my theory of recency effect for that as well. So because it spiked before, it's much easier to spike a second time, depending on the time frame. So that was only last week. So it was good that it spiked again. Dent, not really going up 25%. It's just trading between 4 and 5 Satoshi just now. Same with Bundy X. Similar to Storm as well. Oh, that is going up a wee bit. It was at 15, now at 18, so that is going up a wee bit, I suppose. POA network is going up as well. Nothing much to write home about though. So again, it's kind of there for the alts as well. Nothing much happening, but it looks as if there will be up and coming changes as well soon. So if you want me to look at any charts, let me know as well. I just have a couple of news stories as well to share with you as well. Thanks to Adeb for this and Rob as well. Really appreciate that. Novogratz compares crypto to Peloton while preaching patience. I don't kind of get this, to be honest, but billionaire investor Mike Novogratz says Bitcoin's getting ready for its next leg up. I think it's when institutions start coming in. The chief executive officer of Galaxy Digital Holdings told Bloomberg Television on Wednesday, adding that greater adoption by mainstream companies takes longer than many think, but they're slowly and steadily moving in. I'd agree with that part. Novogratz, who said his firm buys Bitcoin during pullbacks but has a core exposure that it holds on to, said it could take another 5 to 6 years before cryptocurrencies start to impact people's lives. I kind of agree with that as well. It's going to take a long time. It's not just going to happen overnight. So what 2017 did, that crazy bull market, is it got people unrealistic expectations, on how fast the blockchain revolution, the crypto revolution, is actually going to happen. He said, "You've got to give them some more runway before we give them the thumbs up or thumbs down." So he said it was like Peloton. Peloton's a kind of home exercise startup, the bikes. You see loads of adverts for it. They filed for an initial public offering this week. Took close to 8 years to get to that point, said Novogratz. So he's comparing Bitcoin to kind of Peloton. I know talking about the time factor, but Bitcoin's been out for 10 years now. So I don't see the kind of the analogy there. So Bitcoin is getting close to 180% this year on expectations of wider mainstream acceptance. So I kind of agree with a lot of the points there. He's saying that it's going to take a while before mainstream adoption comes. We know that anyway. There's not a tipping point. We're nowhere near that tipping point yet, whereby most people have heard about Bitcoin now. 2-3 years ago, a lot of people hadn't even heard of Bitcoin, but now most people have heard about it. It's now getting them over the kind of hump and getting them into kind of Bitcoin as well. So that's going to take a couple of years before that happens as well. But typically the institutions will get in before the little kind of plebs like us get in, and they'll start driving it. So if you think about it, if the institutions get in, what they're going to do, they're obviously going to want to see a return on their investment. So they're going to start advertising via emails to all their clients. They're going to kind of put new products out with regards to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as well. There's going to be massive advertising campaigns as well. So because they want to see a return on investment. So when they get in, and they are in already, some of them, when they get in, they're going to start all this advertising, which is going to drive adoption up even quicker. And even quicker than we could think and imagine. German Bitcoin Bank wallet, Bitwala launches mobile app. It's not a huge news story, but Bitwala, German-based Bitcoin-enabled banking platform, available in the EU today, announced the launch of new apps for iOS and Android. So Berlin-headquartered Bitwala enables customers in 31 European countries to buy, sell and store Bitcoin. Bitwala is the only banking service presently active in the European Economic Area, offering a current account with a built-in Bitcoin wallet and trading. Sounds like another company we kind of looked at as well. So that's kind of what drew me to that story as well. 10K is a new 6K, says popular Bitcoin trader. They're talking about when kind of Bitcoin was kind of 6K and it wasn't going up or down, it was just kind of staying at that level. So Bitcoin trader Murad Mahmudov says 10K is a new 6K, but instead of breaking down, it will hold and start grinding up. It's already down to 9,500, but he's talking about there or thereabouts just now, and you said you heard it here first. So these are the kind of psychological levels for Bitcoin. They've got here on this Bitcoin list 9,500 or 9,000, just like I've been talking about, is going to be a psychological level. If it breaks that, we're down to 8,800, then 7,500. So, but this kind of price range of 10,000 is going to be the kind of norm, and it's going to be the price to kind of break or kind of fall below, and it's just going to go up and down from there. So he doesn't expect it to go down any further. I tend to agree with that as well. I don't see it going any lower than 7,500. Binance funds 40 developers to build open source crypto software. I like this as well. As Binance X, to that end, the exchange unveiled Binance X on Thursday, announcing it was funding more than 40 developers conducting research into open source crypto software. And Binance X also hopes to facilitate collaboration in the Binance ecosystem by providing resources to projects in various stages of development and tap blockchain evangelists to foster education around the space. So I quite like this actually from Binance. Or Binance X. They're going to fund people to kind of get the education out about crypto, therefore bringing about mass adoption much quicker. Well, that is the reasoning behind it, I would imagine. Thought this was a story I was talking about earlier. Switzerland's largest retailer launches blockchain platform. So Switzerland's largest supermarket chain, Migros, is integrating a blockchain-powered solution for ensuring food safety in collaboration with TE Food. The project is designed to deliver significant value for Migros and its supply chain partners. So according to the announcement, TE Food is the world's largest publicly accessible farm-to-table food traceability solution. We spoke about this probably a year and a half ago. It serves over 6,000 business customers and handles 400,000 business transactions each day. So when you look at that, you go, holy shit, TE Food must be doing really well. when you look at it. But then when you go to CoinMarketCap, you see the market cap is only 1.5 million. Go, what? It's only 1.5 million? This is kind of way undervalued, and this is where you look at the questions you have to ask yourself, what I was talking about earlier on. Should we invest in something like this? When you're getting big companies like this and partnering with the likes of TE Food, and you see that this is only 1.5 million market cap, then that's when you say this could be a hidden gem. And that's a question you have to ask yourself, should I invest in this? And then you kind of say, yep, this would be without a doubt a yes to invest in. Even if a small $500, you don't know what this could go up. It could go 10x, 20x, 30x, 40x, 50x. If it goes up 50x, it's still almost 75 million market capitalization. So think about that. And these are the kind of things we're looking for as well as the big ones that we talk about, XRP, Bitcoin as well. But these are the ones where you're going to make the most money. But it's going to be much harder to find these as well, obviously. XRP facing pile of what ifs and push for new rally, says crypto analyst. So crypto analyst and Block TV reporter Joe Saz says he thinks XRP may be facing a fundamental market weakness that will continue to drive the price of the third largest cryptocurrency market cap lower. I'd agree with that just now. If we look at XRP price just now, XRP BTC, we're going down as we speak, 2,667. It's just dropped again, but that's on the 15-minute chart. We'll go to the 4-hourly. So it crossed up over at 2,644 and went up to 2,765 and come back down again. And usually these kind of up and down spikes are direct correlation with the kind of Bitcoin price as well. That's a negative correlation with it. So I do expect it to come back down, but for long term, there's no question in my mind that XRP is going to explode. And it's going to be big for the long term as well. I think that's the news stories. Yeah, they were talking about this. SAS notes a number of big announcements from Ripple, including its new partnership with payments giant MoneyGram, have yet to impact the price of XRP. So there's so much good news about XRP, so much partnership, so much kind of foundation building as well, and yet it hasn't really moved the price higher. So he's saying what's going to happen if this guy wins a lawsuit that XRP is a security and XRP has to get delisted from all these American exchanges. There's a whole heap of what ifs on either end of the spectrum, so I think it's a little curious. I'm really curious to see how the support for an asset plays out with such bad press potentially forthcoming, and more importantly the good press having very little impact on price. This is kind of what concerns me as well about XRP, but again, for the long term, once they get over that hump, depends on what the kind of news comes out once they get over that, then I think it's going to be huge in the future. I still believe that, even with all these kind of what ifs kind of surrounding it as well, and it's only another opportunity to buy probably lower, so it might go lower even still. We won't use that. Biaxi may be insolvent. So this is the kind of exchange, Biaxi exchange. So after a recent preventable exploit relating to Ripple's XRP and cryptocurrency exchange Biaxi may have costed some $570,000. According to a new report, the exchange may possibly be insolvent. So it's not just came on, but it's one of the more recent ones, Biaxi, and looked like a good investment as well. So a week ago, Biaxi was shrouded in controversy after its XRP BTC plummeted due to an exploit and coordinated sell-off. The hackers used the XRP partial payment exploit to drop the price of XRP 40% in a matter of minutes. Although Biaxi claims other exchanges were targeted, only it suffered, which caused many to raise eyebrows. So that's not looking good for Biaxi just now. So we'll see what happens there. We'll need to keep an eye on that story as well. For Biaxi, that did look like a good investment for Biaxi as well, or to get into Biaxi. So we'll see what happens with the exchange. Okay, we'll jump back over. Tim Gash, I'm waiting for my pension to move over to 2, fingers crossed. I've moved all my old employers' pensions into 1 SIP. Yeah, that's what I'm doing as well, but be careful. Somebody, Stuart was asking me the question this morning, can you get the money out of the SIP? So if you're in a SIP, for example, you have to wait till you're 55 So you're going to tie up your money till you're 55. However, you can buy the Bitcoin, the XBT, you can buy that and still sell it as well, because remember it's self-invested and you're kind of buying and selling. So you can sell BTC, say it went up to $200,000, you could sell it and keep it in cash. So you don't have to keep the XBT all the time for the foot up until you're 55, but you have to keep the money in there until you're 55. If you sold Bitcoin, you have to keep the cash in there until you're 55 years old at least, and then you can take 25% out tax-free and then kind of draw your pension from it. Obviously that's how it kind of works. Or you could draw it all out and just pay a big large kind of tax bill. If you got that much, you wouldn't bother about that. And B, I love spending Bitcoin on my Coinbase card. Now it's happening, the British banks won't wait forever for payment. Yes. So I've not got the Coinbase card. No, you kind of said that the other day, but I've not got the Coinbase card. I use kind of Wirex. I had a Revolut card, but I wasn't impressed with that. That's more for going abroad. I would use Revolut for going abroad, but not for kind of crypto. But Coinbase card, I might order that as well, B. Rob Fiddler, good morning to you. Gordy boy, I read somewhere that over 70% of people got into crypto after 2017. Can you imagine the number who are underwater? I know. Unbelievable. So I think that's why there's a lot of apathy in the markets, because a lot of people did get in when it was kind of near the top, or they start to get in near the top. Or, like me, they got in before it got to the top and didn't sell at the bloody top, and they're still in just now, just like me as well. So I still think this represents another opportunity to get back in. So we're like where we were before kind of 2017, or the beginning of 2017 when it first started to kind of go parabolic. I think that's where we are just now again. And Natasha Sakamoto, FTM please Steve, thanks. Have a wee look. And BTC. I think this is one of the ones for the future. But for the short term, where's it looking? Oh, we could get a bounce. It might get a good bounce here actually. So it did go up to 220. Come down to 179 just now, but we crossed over. We'll just look at the... Yeah, it's bouncing off the 61.8%. So this could be a brilliant opportunity to get in on it. So it did climb, obviously, kind of went up. 1 second, I'll just see what the percentage was. This is on the crossover. So it climbed 44%. It's come back down by 20%. So I think this would be a good time to look at it again for Phantom. We'll just have a wee quick look at Phantom, see where they are with regards to market cap. 30 million. I think this represents a brilliant opportunity, and I think it's a good long-term project as well. Definitely going to survive the altcoin purge. But short term, yep, it could go back up from here, could bounce off the 61.8% level. And why did I have that there? This is support, so this is support level as well, 178, old support level. And it coincides with the 61.8 on the Fibonacci retracement as well. So yeah, I'd say that was a good opportunity to buy for this, but put a tight stop loss on it. You put a stop loss. I'd probably go 170, so probably more than, is that 5%? What was it? Yeah, around about 5%. I'd put it at probably 168, 169, a stop loss there. But it could go back up again, so it looks good. Please do have another look at the NOWS chart, please. NOWS kind of rose over the last few weeks, done well, but see what it's doing just now. So we're on the 4 hourly, crossed over on the 4 hourly, around about 4,000, kind of went up to 5,000, nearly 6,000, so that would have been a 50% gain for there, but it's coming down, so it looks as if it might bounce off the 50%, the 50 EMA, or we've got the Fibonacci retracement tool, and we'll have a look at that and see where it's bouncing. So I don't know if you've noticed this in the Fibonacci retracement. If you look at it, I kind of use it a wee bit differently, but you can still use it the same way as well. So I like the 88.6% level. A lot of them tend to bounce off that for some, whatever known, I don't know the reason for it, but a lot of them bounce off the 88.6% level as well as the 61.8% level. Obviously it's come through that and the 61.8%, but a bounce off the 50 EMA could be on the cards here, which would coincide with 78.6, but I don't really like that number. I shouldn't really have that, but I do like the 88.6% level. So I'll probably put a stop loss here around about 4,300, just below here. Now if it falls below there, it looks as if it's going to be 100% retracement. But it could bounce up again from here now. It looks good for a bounce actually. From here, if I'm being honest. As a trader, I would say that looks good. But put your stop losses on, obviously. Much data, ERD please. ERD. I like ERD as well, and I think this is a good buy as well. Yeah, 22 I think is a good buy again, although on the 4 hourly it's down just now. And the 1 hourly is just kind of crossing back up over on the 1 hourly. But I think this represents another opportunity to buy. So I recommended this, buying at 22 I think. I recommended 22, it did get up to 25. I'll just have a look. ERD recommended 22, go up to 35, sorry, this was back in a couple of weeks ago, go up to 35. And that was a perfect trade because it got up to 60% and there's no drawdown whatsoever. So again, I would recommend ERD at 22, so I think it's a good buying opportunity. B, all the court cases are for the company Ripple, nothing to do with XRP. Yeah, but perceived, it has a perceived kind of knock-on effect. Well, it will have a knock-on effect for XRP as well. But I get what you're saying there, it's for Ripple, the company, and they're two separate entities if we look at it that way. So I know what you're saying, B. Okay, we'll go back to see what's up and coming. Just now, so I've got Win, Dent, Storm, nope. I recommended this the other day as well because I had a kind of spidey kind of feeling that this was going to go up. I recommended it 17 I think, and it came down to 14, which is not good. 19, sorry, I recommended that. It did get up to 21 and came back down to 17, so that's 14 now. So what's the drawdown? Drawdown 26%, which is absolute rubbish, so I do apologise for that, but hopefully you would go out at the 5% level, or 5 or 10%. So I still think this is going to go up, it's just taking a while. 14, so 16 just now. Hot is actually, it's not doing that badly. So it was, you could have bought at 8 Satoshi. It's now at 9 Satoshi, you could sell at 9 Satoshi. QSP we looked at on the 4 hourly, crossed over. Pearl, I don't know what to make of that yet. Let's have to look on the 15-minute chart, crossed over on the 15-minute at 969. A 10% gain. Tom and Chain, I think that's going to be good for the future as well. Just want to see the 32 million market cap. So I think the likes of Tomo Chain, Phantom, ERD, Matic, One, I think they're all going to lead the charge for the alts. I've been saying this for ages, but I like Tomo Chain. That's the newest one that's been added to Binance. I really like that for the future as well. Yeah, what's the highest? That's been 115 million market cap, $2.11. It's now 50 cents. So I think that could be a really good one for the future as well. How do we look at ADA yesterday? I'm tempted. Cardano, yep. AWTC, we'll just have a wee look. Short term, it could go down further. That's 15-minute chart. We'll have a look at the 4 hourly. Still down on the 4 hourly. So again, it's in and out, just like kind of XRP. So now it still might have further to go down there, but for accumulating for the future, if that's what you're doing, then yeah. If it's for short-term trading, I would say no. But for accumulation, definitely yeah. Natasha Sakamoto, big difference between BTC and gold. Gold's production can be cranked up. Not so with BTC, correct me if I'm wrong. Gold production can be cranked up. So they keep saying this in gold as well. They keep saying, okay, there's only a finite amount of gold in the world, but we don't know what that number is. We don't know how much gold there is in the world because we keep on doing the gold mines, we keep on digging for gold obviously as well. So we genuinely don't know how much gold there is in the world because obviously production can be cranked up like you're saying there. With Bitcoin it can be. There's only ever going to be, I don't know, at the very most probably about 16 million Bitcoin, because all of the other ones are lost in wallets. There's never ever going to be any more than that. With gold, it's totally different, and they keep on saying it's okay. So there's only a certain amount of gold in the world, but that is not true, and I don't know why they keep saying that, because we just don't know how much gold there is in the world. We could have tapped out all the resources for gold, or not. There could be another big, huge mine somewhere of gold. So I don't think we've tapped out, and we've got $7.5 trillion worth. Or probably it's more like $8 trillion worth now in the gold market. And just have a look at gold. I think it's went up again to about nearly 1,550 or something. So we'll look at world stock market, and we'll look at XAUSD, 1525. It did get up to 1555. So it's going up. It's up 10% over the last month or so. Look at it on the daily. It's done brilliant over the last year. It's went up 30% over the last year, which is good. It's okay, a nice kind of safe one if you're into it. But for cryptos, would you settle for 30% for a crypto in a year? I suppose you would, but you wouldn't settle for that, but you'd expect more. But you'd be kind of, at this stage in the game, you'd be relatively happy with a 30% gain in crypto. But it just doesn't seem that much to me. So since 2015, we've went up 50%. I don't think I'd be happy. If it was for a pension pot and I was looking at that, I'd say, yeah, it's been up 50% in 4 years. That's quite good. That's a really good ROI. And I'd be happy with that for a pension. But if I was in cryptos over 4 years, nah, I wouldn't be real happy with that. Watch out for fake gold. Yeah, there's kind of news going out just now about the fake gold kind of going about just now, and it's a big problem for the kind of gold markets just now. Charles H says expect announcement end of August and September. Excellent. Morning, Steve. Have you looked into Matic today, Nicky Sheldrake? I haven't looked at Matic. I think it's one for the long term, definitely, but we'll see what it's like for the short term. Matic 126, that's on a daily we're looking at. On the 4 hourly, let's see if it's going down. So again, for me, if I had the money and I was into, and I would be, if I did have the money, Matic would be one of the ones I'd be accumulating. This would be accumulation zone for me, for Matic. I just think that a quality company is going to be leading the charge for the alts. But short term, it's not buy at the moment, short term. Or there's no indication on the charts. For me, there's no indication. And the way I kind of look at it. So I'll be waiting for the crossover for any indication or for any signs of that. And on no charts, apart from maybe the 15-minute chart. And just have a look at the order books. Order books, it looks like it's going to go down to 125, 126. That's kind of split evenly there in the order books, slightly more for the buying. So I'll be waiting for confirmation for the buys for Matic if you're looking for the short-term trade. For long-term, I'd be accumulating for Matic. Cheers, Steve. Have a great day. All 2 Scottish clubs in Europe. Thumbs up. Cheers, B. Thanks for joining us today. It's good to see you, mate. Just like one of my friends died and still has half a Bitcoin. That's half a Bitcoin locked up forever. This will happen more over the years. Jeez, oh. That's not good to hear, G-Slick. Gordy Boy, good one, B. Says the error, try again. Oh, that's when I was trying to write to Kim as well. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for today. Thank you very much for joining me. It's really good to see you today, and hopefully you'll have a brilliant weekend as well. Good trading weekend, or if you're in kind of just staying in Bitcoin, just hopefully Bitcoin goes up for you and the kind of start to go up for you as well. It looks as if Bitcoin is just going sideways just now. Nothing really much happening, so we can't really tell where it's going to go at the moment, but we'll just have a one wee last look at it. Just have a wee gander. 9,501. Oh, it's trying to jump up. On a 50-minute chart, it's crossed over, so it looks as if it's going to go up in the very short term just now. So yeah, it looks as if it's jumping up. So we could see a price increase over the weekend. Hopefully we'll see that. But whatever you're doing over the weekend, have a brilliant weekend, and until Monday, namaste. Take care. Bye now.
It's the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes.